Please take a moment to increase the brightness on your device for optimal viewing.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Sketchy Friendler, where every day you can relax while you listen to me tell a story and I draw a picture to go along with it. Today I'm going to tell you about the haunted house that we used to live in. But first, yes, I'm drawing in blue pencil. Just please bear with me. It's part of the process. I will start drawing in my regular graphite. Just bear with me. Two, if this seems a little bit too dark to you, then just crank the brightness all the way up on your viewing device. And three, if you're watching this on your cell phone and this image seems a little bit too small, then go ahead and rotate your phone horizontal so that the image gets larger to fill in the screen, and then you can see better. All right, with that, let's do this. I'm going to tell you about the haunted house that we used to live in. And this goes back to last year and all the way up to the beginning of this year, end of January. Last year, we rented a house in West Palm Beach, and it was a nice house. We really liked it a lot. It actually had a really nice vibe to it, but it was a little quirky. It had a little bit more personality than we were ready for, I think. Now, when we first got there, everything seemed pretty normal. It was a nice place. Really nice size. I actually liked the size of the house. It was manageable. It wasn't too big. Had a pool. It was a fun time. Just it was those time when I was getting to know my wife. But at that time, just Nana and Anna a little bit better, since I'd only just moved there from California. And it was really cool. It was nice. But I couldn't tell you about how far in we were there when things started getting a little strange. And again, this is just strange things happening. I don't know what it was. There could be a scientific explanation for it, but I don't know what that explanation is. So the first thing that we sort of noticed was we had a laundry room. It was off next to the kitchen, and we noticed one day my wife, or at that time, she was just my girlfriend, I guess. Nana was, she went in there and she's like, why is the hamper on top of the washing machine? And I was like, huh? So I walk in there, and sure enough, there's hamper with all the clothes that should have been on the ground next to the washer was on top of the washer. I had gone in there a little bit before to get something off one of the shelves. So when I went in there, it was not on top of the washing machine. So that was a little strange, because if it had been, I would have definitely noticed, this thing. I couldn't put my hand through the hamper to get to grabbing whatever it was that I grabbed off the shelf. So if it had happened, it happened after I had just been in there, or been in there for a little while before. And, Anna it's too high for Anna. Anna can't even lift her arms that high anyway to begin with, let alone to that height. She wasn't nearly that tall. She was about, she was still 5 at that point, and she was a lot shorter than she was. So, yeah, there was no way that anybody could have done that. So that was a little weird. We didn't know how that could have happened. But we just sort of, I thought, maybe I did it just without thinking or something. But then why would I have put it up there to begin with? There's really no reason. Didn't put it up there. If I needed to get it out of the way, I would have just moved out of the way on the ground. I wouldn't have put it up on top of the washing machine. It's a little weird. So sort of like got weirded out, but we just sort of moved on and kind of forgot about that. Shortly after that, Nana, and I think myself, I was just kind of discounting it like subconsciously and not paying attention to it. But outside of our bedroom, the master bedroom, we heard what sounded like, I wouldn't say footsteps necessarily, but what it was, if somebody is not very heavy-footed and they're walking around in the house, you don't necessarily hear like their footfalls, but what you do hear is you hear the floorboards creaking, and not just in one spot. You can kind of triangulate where they are by the sound of their footfalls as they move across whatever area the house is in. So we started hearing that, and that was mildly disturbing. It bugged me, but I think it bugged Nana a bit more, my wife more, and we heard it on multiple occasions, and we would hear it, out here somewhere, just beyond the door, just beyond the threshold of the door, like something moving. Like, this is the kitchen here. This was just another room, the living room, and then this was the master bedroom. We'd hear it moving around, through here, like it was walking up and just stopping, like right here. And that was, it was disturbing. I mean, you think you hear somebody walking around, but then nobody's there. Again, like, we just kind of shrugged our shoulders and, what are you going to do about it? It's just sort of a weird thing. And, it is what it is. What are you going to do? So we just continued to just go about our lives there at the house. And, it was weird. It was weird, a little bit creepy, but, whatever. It's not the end of the world. It's not doing anything. So from that point, just the good thing about my daughter Anna is she's very logical, so she doesn't get spooked by stuff like that. She's more scared by like loud noises. She's scared of like vacuum cleaners or just machines, loud noises, dinosaurs, whatever's a loud noise, makes a loud noise. That's what she's scared of, or gets uneasy around or startled, and doesn't want to have anything to do with anything that makes loud noises. So it didn't really, I don't think it really affected her, or she didn't say anything at that point. It was mostly a case of Nana and I just like looking at each other and said, did you hear that? Did you just hear that? Yeah, I heard that. And that was about it. After that, we started getting more. It started getting more later into the year. Started getting into the holidays, and we, set up a couple of Christmas trees. We set the big one up in the front room in this room. So this is our master bedroom. Back here is the kitchen, leads in doorway to the kitchen. But in this area here, if you go that way, that's where the front was, and there was a big window there. So we put up a big Christmas tree there, and we just loaded it up with lights and ornaments, and that was like kind of the main Christmas tree, because that one is the one that you could see out from the street. So it's kind of the showpiece, I guess. But we loaded that thing up with lights and ornaments, and it was nice. It was super tall. It was, I think, about 10 feet tall. And so we just had that up there for a couple months, and during that time, at one point, I know Anna was in her room and she called me over there. She called me over, and I was like, "What's wrong?" She's like, "Can you just like hang out with me here?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure. Like, what's going on?" She's like, "Well, I keep hearing somebody walking outside my door," and that was one of the other spots that we had heard the kind of the floorboards creaking around, was like right in the dining area, family room, right outside of her door. Like, we would hear it when we were all hanging out there. But I guess she was in her room, and she heard those same footfalls, or the creaky floorboards moving around outside her room. So she was kind of a little weirded out. She wasn't like terrified, but she's just like, "Hey, can you just hang out with me?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure." That, I don't want her to be scared. So yeah, I just, went in there, hung out with her in her room for a while until it was like later on, and I think we had dinner or something. But so that was another time. But during the holidays, we put up this tree and all the ornaments, and then came time after the holidays where we didn't take all the stuff down. So we did that. We took all the lights and the ornaments, and took a while, because we had to get up on the ladder to get all of the stuff down, because it was big. And we finally got pretty much all of it. We got all of the stuff down. So the tree was just, we just didn't take the tree down yet, and we got all the ornaments and all the lights. It was it was a pain in the butt, but we did it. Now, one night it was late. I think we might have been asleep even, or going to sleep, and we heard out from the living room where the tree was, like, it sounded like an ornament had fallen or got thrown or something. And we didn't really do anything about it at first, but I think it just really started bugging Nana, and she's like, "You know what, I'm just going to go check it out." So she went out there to the living room, and then she's like, "Aaron, come out here." So I come out there, walk out there, and the tree there was no ornaments. We had taken off. They were in a box. She had looked in the box where all the ornaments were, and she didn't see anything that had fallen out. But she points at the tree, and dead center, eye level, was an ornament. One ornament, a single ornament, just on the tree. Now, I think it would be a fair argument to say that we had missed it if it was like high or low or off to the side or facing out towards the window, but this thing was like right in the middle, right at eye level, right facing us inside. So that would be probably the first ornament that we would have taken off, and yet it was there. I can't explain that. That definitely weirded us out. And then eventually we packed up because we had to go. We had to move. We left early because Anna needed to get her braces, and she was gonna do that in February. So we left, I think, a month early. Paid up through there, but we still left early. And as we were moving out, we cleaned out all the stuff, all the rooms and everything. And I opened up the drawer, like there was just to kind of do one last sweep. And at the bottom drawer, there was an envelope, white envelope. Open it up, and there's a $20 bill in it. There's no way, like, we never put any $20 in an envelope. That drawer had all of Anna's clothes in, and my wife had put all of Anna's clothes in there over that, and nobody went in and out and put stuff in or took stuff out. We just, if anything, clothes was going in and out, but there was never any $20 bill with an envelope. There was no name on it, nothing. It was just this random envelope with $20 in it. And that was very strange. We don't know how it got there. We never noticed it in the entire, 5-6 months we were there. It would have been buried under all this other stuff. And there was when my wife was putting all the clothes in, it was not there. So that was another weird thing. We kind of joked. We were like trying to say it was the spirit trying to bribe us to stay. So other than that, I think there was like occasionally we would smell like cigarette smoke coming from like the air vent near the attic. So I don't know. Maybe there was a guy living up there we didn't know about. Who knows? But anyway, that was it for the most part. That was enough. And so we left. And we all, like my wife and I left, we basically just said, okay, thank you for hosting us here. And we felt like if it was anything, it might have been like kind of had a child like energy about it. So we left a whole bunch of little balloons and stuff when we moved out of that house, just so if it was a little kid spirit, then, it could play with the balloons and stuff while nobody was there. We thanked it and locked the door, and we left. I don't think that it was like if it was an entity, it wasn't malevolent, but I think it was its house, and it was just doing its thing and letting us know it was there. If you want to believe in that kind of stuff. Otherwise, I have no explanation of what it was or what it could be. You could tell me what you think. But it was definitely weird, and I think that would probably be my only reservation about that place, because I think ultimately the house had I felt a very family positive vibe and personality to it. I felt it was a good place. So anything occupying it, I think was okay. It was benign. So that is my story for today. I do this Monday through Friday on YouTube and Facebook. If you're interested, on Instagram, I post these finished images there of the previous day. And on TikTok, I do shorter time-lapse videos with a shorter little blurb. They're about 2.5 minutes long. And I'm also doing Inktober there this month, so you can check out stuff over there. Usually on Saturdays is when we post a poll where you get to pick one of the drawings Monday through Friday that you want me to finish up on Sunday, and when we do a live stream there. But this weekend we are not going to be doing that because it's going to be my choice. I'm going to be coloring in and inking a drawing that I've wanted to finish for a while. Then I'll do that, I think, on Saturday about 10 p.m. Eastern time. So we will get on a live. My wife and I will hang out with you guys while I finish up the drawing of my choice on Saturday. I think that's pretty much it for today. I just want to, again, just thank everybody for hanging out. I appreciate you all, and I will talk to you soon. All right. Bye.